JJ the CPA. What's the latest on the EIDL here going into May 5th? So the disaster loans that we've been dealing with, the economic injury disaster loans, EIDL, sometimes known as the COVID-19 disaster loans, right? These are the ones that you only get at the SBA. And more specifically, we're talking about the EIDL advance, right? Because you can get up to $10,000 advance on this economic injury disaster loan. Above that, you're actually getting a loan, but you can get this up to 10K directly from the SBA.gov. You go to funding options and you find the EIDL, the economic injury disaster loans. So quick, we know that when these first came out, really at the very beginning of the COVID crisis, it was basically $10,000 per business, per EIN. Then in early April, it came where nothing was getting paid out, and then the SBA basically said, you know what, to help preserve this, we're gonna go with basically $1,000 per employee in essence. So if you had one employee, you got 1,000. If you had 10 employees, you got 10,000. If you had 20 employees, you got 10,000. It was a 10,000 max. Then the funds ran out. Then in the amendment of the CARES Act, another 10 billion was added to EIDL. So we've been waiting, right? We've been waiting since April 27th for EIDL to open up. Not me personally, but I have clients that have been waiting. We've been looking and pressing that, refresh button constantly, like we're wanting to make sure we get those tickets to the next Van Halen concert with Eddie Van Halen back on stage. But anyways, my point is this. The EIDL is back up, but in a limited way. And what it's doing here is the SBA is indicating, and I'm reading, SBA will begin accepting new EIDL and EIDL advance applications on a limited only basis for relief with the U.S. agricultural businesses. So it says the new eligibility is made possible as a result of the latest round of funds appropriated by Congress. And these are agricultural businesses that include those businesses engaged in the production of food and fiber, ranching, raising of livestock, aquaculture, and other farming and agricultural related industries, okay, as defined by 18B of the Small Business Act. SBA is encouraging all eligible agricultural businesses with 500 or fewer employees wishing to apply begin preparing their business financial information needed for the application. And then it says, at this time, only agricultural business applications will be accepted due to limitations in funding availability and the unprecedented submission of applications already received. Applicants who already submitted their applications will continue to be processed on a first-come, first-served basis. For agricultural businesses that submitted an EIDL application through the Streamline Application Portal, which would be at SBA.gov, prior to the legislative change, SBA will process these applications without the need for reapplying. And then there's a button here that says eligible agricultural businesses may apply for a loan advance. Okay, and you click there. So the loan advance is the amount that you are able to get that in essence, you don't have to pay back the advance portion. Above that, you have to pay back. Above that, it's going through a lender and an SBA approved bank, and you're going through the normal channels, normal process. So where the limited funds are is as it relates to the advance. So I'm glad that the SBA has come back. I'm so thankful that they're helping a sector here, the agricultural sector. And why? Because they were, in essence, left out, so to speak. They weren't really carved out in the first CARES Act. This is in round two, so to speak, in the amendment, specifically included, specifically allocated. And that's why the SBA is now opening EIDL advance applications for those that are in the agricultural businesses. But what is interesting here is that when I go and I click on that apply, it says applicant is a business with not more than 500 employees. Applicant's an individual who operates under a sole proprietor. Applicant's a cooperative, not more than 500 employees. Now it does add the agricultural as a option. It says an agricultural enterprise, not more than 500 employees. There's another option. An applicant is a business including agricultural cooperative. Applicant is a business that is a nonprofit, non-governmental agency. And then check and review all the following. Applicant is not engaged in illegal. Applicant is with 50% or greater ownership. Applicant does not present live performance of some sexual matter and blah, blah, blah. Applicant does not derive more than 1/3 of its gross revenue from legal gambling. Applicant is not a business or lobbying, and the applicant cannot be a state, local, or municipal government and cannot be a member of Congress. So what's interesting here is they've added the applicant to include, applicant information to include agricultural businesses. But it does include the same questions as it did before, meaning I could fill this out and say, well, I'm a business with not more than 500 employees and I don't have any of those disqualifying things. And so I'm going to click. Okay. So when we now are clicking, what's next? We put in our name and our information. But what the SBA's made clear here is that at this time, only agricultural business applications will be accepted due to limitations in funding and availability and unprecedented submissions. But it allows you to put in that same information. They didn't make the questions go away that didn't include agricultural. Does this make sense? Basically, it looks as though you could sit there and apply. Now it says, at this time, only agricultural business applications will be accepted. So I don't know if that means you go through this and you fill it out, and if you're not an agricultural business, it's chucked out. I think what's clear here, though, is that if you've already applied, you won't reapply. If you already applied, you will not reapply. If you're agricultural, you better apply. If you've not applied and you're not agricultural, you can still apply. So I don't know do you apply and then you just know you're at the end of the line? It says at this time, only agricultural applications will be accepted. It doesn't say that only agricultural business applications can be applied for. So don't get me wrong, I'm not here trying to find a way for you to jimmy yourself in inappropriately. But I'm wondering if EIDL is open. They're saying right now, hey, you can apply, but right now we're only going to accept, I just wanted to double check the wording, accept these applications. But if they were only accepting these applications for agricultural, why would there be the questions for it? So I don't know. I'm not applying for it, so I'm not able to go all the way through. I'll have a few clients. I'm going to let them know tomorrow. It's like, well, you're not agricultural. You're not going to click a button saying that you are agricultural. You're going to clearly pick an option there that makes it clear you're not agricultural. Maybe you should submit it because at least you're in line. They're going to process the ones that they've got now. They're going to process in the agricultural. And then if they have money left over, which probably won't be the case, but would it be better if you're in line? So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to come up with some technicality. It's just that it's interesting that I can apply here and indicate other options, a number of them that make it clear I'm not an agricultural business, because it says select one. Agriculturals are several of the options, but the other options that were there before are still there. I say I'm not ineligible because of these, and I click, boom, I put in my info. So I'm not sure what to do other than I just want to make you aware that the EIDL is up and running. It clearly states they're only accepting agricultural, but I don't know that it's disallowing you to apply if you're not agricultural, but it is saying if you've already submitted application, you don't need to resubmit. And if you got your 1,000 or 2,000 or whatever based on your number of employees, that's all you're going to get. The SBA's made that clear. So take a look at it. I don't have a recommendation for you. I am going to tell my clients, hey, like one of them that they're going to get $1,000. I'm going to say, well, why don't you put in an application and see if it accepts it in the sense of it takes it. May not accept it into the system, but it takes it, right? It's almost like, hey, I want to apply for that. So you hand in your application and they say, okay, well, we have your application on file. We'll call you when we're starting to review, accept these applications, but you're in line. So I'll let you know what I find out, but I want to let you know this because I know we've been waiting on it. And if you're in the agricultural business, get on it. If you've already applied, don't apply again. If you haven't applied and you're not an agricultural business, but you're needing these funds, this advance, these funds that you're not paying back that you can use for your business that's in trouble, maybe you apply given that it's allowing you to, and then you're just in line. I don't know. Just want to make you aware. All right, hey, listen, if you're still struggling with all this and you don't have employees, really consider this. If you've already applied, then just, it is what it is. Don't apply again. And then if you're waiting on PPP funds and your bank's not giving you indication, you got to get to a smaller bank. You got to get to a credit union. You got to build a relationship. I'm hearing over and over and over again from people on my live show that they took that advice, they stopped with the big bank and then went to a small bank and in a day had their funding. But on the EIDL, it's open. Check it out, make your own decision on this, and good luck to you on this. All right, hey, I'd love it if you subscribe, and then don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me. All right, thanks so much.